So Sniper, what a time, what a time. Many of you very excited, a little bit alt excited as well, I suspect. Very good, very good. And it's at these times we hope to look forward and bring you a key insight that will give you a better feel for what might be coming next. Generally, it's all positive, but there's something that might come that might give you an amazing opportunity, a last chance for a little bit of Black Friday crypto accumulation. And you'll hear why the word Friday is in there as well. But first, a little bit of housekeeping. We really appreciate a share. Please do a share and smash us up a like if you like to have regular updates from us advert free. We will keep bringing them if you keep loving us. That's how you love us. Another key point. I've got two quick announcements. The 20th of December, that's right, the month still to start. We are doing live stream marathon with an amazing bunch of guests that have been invited, already included Lynn Alden and George Gammon and others that are due to come, plus a couple of mystery guests. Who might we have? Who might we have? Do not forget that that is coming. It's a Sunday. Leave that Sunday out. You want to be booked in. Mark it now. Sniper time. Then there is a problem in crypto land. Generally, there is a problem. Anybody who has any form of profile of any form of minute value, you don't have to be a big star, you can be a small little guy like me, is getting a serious element of fraudulent profiles, extracting and stealing from naive other people. Some not so naive, just being caught out. So I need your help and support to stamp out the absolute fraudulent scum that exists like parasites wherever there is anybody with any substance. So we are having an outbreak of copy crypto, copy market sniper, but instead of with an R, with two E's, one E, etc., etc. Asking for money via Twitter, DMs, WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups and Discord groups. We do none, absolutely none of the above. Let me say to you, there is no WhatsApp group, no Telegram group, no Discord group that you can join. Okay, and anything you are joining which you think has HVF method, Francis Hunt or Sniper, anything in it is a scam and a fraud. There is only one Sniper and he's standing right here and he's not partaking in any of those realms. Don't support it because there's devious people. Anybody who posts in the comments that is posting like the crypto sniper, like the market sniper or any of my other profiles is looking to scam people, report them immediately, notify us immediately, whether you're a member of our community or not, either through the Twitter on DM, just tag me. We appreciate it. Screenshots are required. Screenshots if you can, when you have them. If you don't, you don't. But if you can, it's appreciated. We want a screenshot of these guys. We're going to take people down. We're going to geolocate them. We're going to identify them through their social activity. Even if I have to bring in the Israelis, I'll do it. We'll get them because they know where everybody is and what they're doing. So I want your help. Let's just stamp the scum out so they're right off our realm. This guy, Jin Bird, trying to rip off content and bulk all sorts of scams. If you know him or you were approached by him, I'm showing the screen right now with this golden bird on it. Jin Bird 69. I want this guy. I want to take him down. Anyone scamming, I want him. If you've been contacted by them, bring him to me. We're going to go out and we're going to get some people and we'll spend some money to do it. And we're going to get him hard. And where there's criminal proceedings, I want criminal proceedings pushed. Screw this. People are receiving requests for 3,000 euros here, 5,000 euros there. Someone saying course materials for 13,000. None of it is our pricing. We have two products and you can get all the details on a phone call and it's the same for everybody all the time and you'll get an incentive for moving quickly in 3 days. It's that simple and everybody pays the same. Don't ask for a discount. You don't deal with me. It's handled by the folk that deal with the onboarding and clients. They're awesome and they're consistent and they know nobody. They don't love anybody else more than anybody else. Okay, so help us do that. Okay, a little bit of boring stuff to have to get through there, but I appreciate your support. Hit us a like if you want really scam-free crypto environment. If you think that's cool and you're up for us putting a few guys away and turning the heat up on the scammers, hit us a like and a share. We will stamp these guys out that are copying, cloning, and stealing from people that are new into the game and end up straight away with a bad experience, thinking they're talking to one of us, not sure of how it all works, kind of looking for help, thinking it's an honest, clean space where people can just be seen and trusted. Let's protect them. Okay. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about. Folks getting excited about the Ripple. I'm going to come back to this one actually. I'm going to kick off with BTC, and I'm going to swap it around a little bit in terms of the cross pair that we're talking about. I'm going to put on the euro this time. But before I get into that, let's have a look for that. Mark Cherry, I was asked for 10K for USD. Okay, Mark, you're being scammed. If it doesn't come from an email, the only way you engage with us is you go to our site and you get a call and you speak to somebody and you book a date and a time. That's the only way you can engage with us. You can also email us on support@themarketsniper. That's how you engage with us. An email, support@themarketsniper, spelt the correct way, the market singular sniper, so it's 1s.com. That's the only way you do it. If it hasn't come from our email and you haven't booked and gone via that process, it's somebody feigning it. Been needing a live stream, says Alita. Yes, glad to be doing it. Told you guys BTC dominance will fail at the 67%, says Sean Gomez. Sean is already saying absolutely the alt run is here. We've seen a great week for the alts, but you don't make an entire alt run, and I'm going to tell you why and what's going on. So he's leading us into the content that we're going to be discussing today. Best channel, says Exodus. Thank you, Bex, Exodus. Thank goodness a vaccine is on the way, says K-Space. I think he knows under what mood to put that comment in. You are the best YouTuber. Love from Israel. Thank you, and blessings to all the good people of Israel, for which there are many. And thank you for supporting the channel. Giovanni Doro, Grayscale and PayPal buying all the new BTC. Yes, there was an article about 70% is being hoovered up, which is just about all. Someone else said over 100%, which is kind of difficult to do of the new BTC, but it could mean they're buying all the new BTC and a bit of overhang. But I think the official calculated, and it's not known, came from a Pantera group. One of the guys on Twitter told me and linked in the article and said, essentially, you know, these guys are, in our guesstimation, having to accumulate at the following rate. So it's a pretty good guess, but I wouldn't say anybody knows exactly for sure. There's OTC markets. There's a lot that goes on. So we can have a reasonable stab, but we can't always put it 100% to bed. So what was I going to show you on Bitcoin? Let's get into the crypto stuff, because that's why you're here. Now, here's the thing that many are going to be forgetting a little bit, and that is that we've been going up for a while. And there's something coming that's not too far away. Now, I've intentionally thrown a little bit of a spanner in the works for you guys, because this is the BTC Euro. I will cross-reference it with the dollar as well. It's very disabling. My premium guys know why we look at BTC Euro as well. And in fact, there's been some interesting articles as to why. And as I say, you'll find out more about that if you want to, but you don't have to. So maybe just include it in yours and trust us, or find out the reasons why. You can talk to community guys about that. The mini series also below. So BTC Euro. You can see the numbers are different, but basically the structure is largely the same. Why? Because this is about Bitcoin. At the end of the day, Bitcoin is the one drawing the footprints in the sand. Remember, we did the same chart, divided by, boom, divided by NASDAQ, divided by gold. You remember all of these. Reference in the legacy videos. Go watch them. Bitcoin relative valuations. I even did a Twitter thread with a whole bunch of those charts showing what multiple Bitcoin should have gone up relative to the NASDAQ, to gold, etc., etc. And some of you will be thinking, well, the alts could be doing a multiple on Bitcoin. But here's what you need to remember. What can you see about this chart without knowing the numbers that might be coming up soon? Let's see if you're awake. Let's give away a trip to Lagos. I haven't done one of those in a long, long time. Trip to Lagos for the winner. at least a full week, second place 2 weeks. If you can tell me what's coming up that might be interesting or significant on this chart in terms of the view that I'm now giving you right now. Who's hungry for a bit of sunshine and a whole bunch more in the Northern Europe? Who wants a bit of Lagos? I hold 100% Cardano, says the revolutionist. Brendan, double top, blow off top. Send me to Lagos, please, says Oliver. No retrace yet, says Michael Faker. Interesting comment, Michael. What else do we have? Long the Great Reset by Chainlink. Yep, that's K-Space. Spark token is the missing link for XRP. Lagos, pullback to no retracement yet, says Francisco Gomez. Nice to have you, Francisco. Bring on all our Latin friends, please. We miss them and we love them. We want them involved. Hannes Millis, all-time high. Yes. So some of you are dropping bombs pretty close to the target there. And I'll take Hannes's shout out for the all-time high run. That is going to be a pretty key thing. The interesting point about no retrace that a few of you have made, also dovetails a little bit with it and is not a wrong answer either. So what are we going to say to you? Well, in euro terms, many of you won't know this nearly as well because you haven't given a flying flutin about the euro. You don't live in euro land. Everything is dollar, rah-de-rah-de-rah. But in actual fact, in euro terms, we were sub 17,000 on our all-time high, just about. We're now trading 550. So we're knocking on the door of 16,000. And if I were to do the same on the chart you're more used to seeing, BTCUSDT, oh, isn't that beautiful? The line stays in just the right place. You're even closer on dollar, which shows us what, by the way? What does it show us? That you're closer to the all-time high on the BTCUSD tether than on the euro. What does it show us? A little bit of a clue on the FX markets and how the Dixie's been doing. Let's see who gets it first for the second prize for the 2 weeks in Lagos. Sean Gomez definitely wants some sunshine and a little bit of Nigerian excitement. Good price. Yeah, the comments are coming. Weak dollar. So we've had a bit of a weak dollar as well. Thank you. And that was DJB. So weak dollar has been a little bit of the play. So actually we're lagging a little bit on euro, but we're getting there. And the dollar is less than, by and large, less than a grand from an all-time high. Now, there's something you don't know, but you'll have a kind of an idea inside our HVF method and in the premium community where you get all the Hunt Volatility Funnel method. We also are awaiting our second interim. So we'll be talking about the all-time high because you don't know about interims and things like that and all that theory. You think you've picked it up on YouTube. You haven't really, but never mind. It's fine. So there's another reason that we're expecting a level to be run and then a possible reaction. And this is going to confluence pretty well with what most people are recognizing as the all-time high. We've got our own abbreviations nowadays in crypto land, and we just go ATH, and everybody in crypto kind of knows what that means. And that's, as I say, very high 19s. Most exchanges didn't trade 20K. Excuse me, they traded the 19 and a few hundred, 300, 700, 600, that varies by exchange broadly. This one, we were on what? Binance. Binance came in late into the game, but let's just see if we can get a reading on where Binance is. Many of you are suffering with Funds Are Safeu and their horrible platform. So I won't be getting any sponsorship from them. 19,798. So they were pretty high, almost 19,800. But yeah, we're sitting at 18,380. We're not too far off. Now, our key level is in between those two alerts. Remember to use alerts. It's a great gift. It's a great tool on TradingView. By the way, Black Friday for TradingView as well. Go get it. Go get it cheap. You don't need to use my reference link. I don't mind. I don't care. Just make sure you got access to good charting. It's going to make you a better trader. And you can get it 60% off. And I think they're a great product. I mean, if they did offer me a sponsorship, I would be happy to declare it and happy to put them forward because I use it and I love it. And that's how we are. But I'm not and I don't, but you should anyway because it's going to be good for you. So 19,300s is roughly our big important level, and it's dovetailing with 19,800s. So when you get a confluence of levels, and we have really good reasons for our levels, you can find out more, as I say, if you want to, but otherwise just take it from me. And you've got the all-time high right there. So what typically happens, this ties into some of the interesting comments that the others were making. No real pullback yet. Yes, do you remember them in the comments? Pretty smart guys. No real pullback yet. And this also has bearing on what? What does it also have bearing on that everybody's so excited? I saw someone saying, I guess you're not shorting Ripple right now. It's been ages since I've been short cryptos. Generally, we're long Bitcoin, just with Bitcoin bias. We are observing what's happening on the altcoins, and we said people will call alt runs a little too soon, and it could still be about to happen. Why? Why do you think? What happens when Bitcoin's going up? The alts generally, they go up faster. Yep. And if we're about to do another grand, in other words, they're going to go up faster still for a little bit more. What's likely to happen if Bitcoin then has a relapse, and what typically happens to support and resistance traders? How's the news going to read? Bitcoin on Google search is actually pretty low compared to when it last did 20,000. If you see that chart, it's kind of like low. While before, when it did 20K, 2017, everybody in its world was Googling it for the first time. In short, folks are a little bit, heard this before, it's going to take all my money. They still butt hurt, all the rookies that kind of got into it at just the wrong time, and then got dumped and killed and murdered. And they think, I've seen this plot before, I know how it ends, I'm staying away, until they're absolutely forced to get in at 54,000 later on. But anyway, so what typically happens to support and resistance traders? This is something I teach in the premium area, and I'm happy for you to have for free. They get handed, the obvious support and resistance trades get handed losses, generally. So what happens is, as you break the all-time high, very traditional technical analysts will say, all-time high, this thing is happening, oh my God, time to get in there. Or the guys that had a little bit say, wow, it surely is a bull run now. In other words, they're kind of late to that realization. They don't have HVF method. They're not following this amazing YouTube channel. Give us a like. 633 of you watching, 163 like us. The rest just come here to hate us. No, I'm kidding. We appreciate likes and shares, so do it if you will. Anyway, so what happens? You get a run through the all-time high. Bloomberg, Reuters, MSM, CNBC, all the mutts that don't watch this channel but think those schmucks that are the mouthpieces of draconian overreaching government and protectors of the banking cartel. Watch Reset Sniper, by the way, to understand how the banking cartel absolutely runs and owns and is your slave master and is full of murder and suppression if ever their power to create money is challenged. In other words, as I keep saying, one of the most things I keep repeating, and you keep needing to hear it until you realize it, they will never let you have your own money. For all those that are absolute believers, be careful. Be careful in terms of BTC. Be careful in everything. I'm trading it. I'm enjoying it. I want to be long it. I don't marry it. Marry your girlfriend. Don't marry a token, a share, an equity. Because things will change. Things will change, and you don't know the full essence of that history, circa the NSA special document in 1996, etc., about creating a peer-to-peer payment system, Go research that yourself. Anyway, back to the charts. What's going to happen? We'll pump through. Everybody goes long. The media blows up. Bitcoin at all-time high. Suddenly Google searches get a little bit of a bump, and every dumb troll that's never used leverage before jumps in with a 500x leverage account and throws down a Bitcoin and buys 100 Bitcoin in exchange and start longing the damn thing. What do you typically do? You get a surge, a final little surge. It trips everybody in. The tripwires run, and then you get your first meaningful potential pullback. That is what is possible. I'm not telling you absolutely it'll happen. I haven't been to the future. I'm not just stepping out of my time machine with the news and the facts as written down from the future. I'm telling you from probability and trading experience what typically can potentially happen. Plus we have two levels, the all-time high level. By the way, How did that work out on something like gold? A 7-year and 3/4 setup. Let's just remind you of that. Still selling off and looking weak, gold. Yes, indeed. Many people saying, never mind gold, crypto has replaced gold. A little bit careful there, boys and girls. A little bit careful. Still selling off. If I put the lines on here, that's your legacy blue line right there from the previous all-time high. Let's drop in a little bit because that looks like an almighty mess that none of you will understand. You will see that all-time high, let's go back up a little bit, drop 2 down, was very significant technically for a long, long time. What happened? We ran it and then we spilt right through it. You see the big fat blue line? This is just, and you'll say, but gold is not crypto. No, it isn't. We're talking about price behavior. Price behavior on anything. Price behavior on anything. And this is what often happens. You have a final blow off to run the new high. That's the old high in the blue. The transgender pink box shows you that erectile projectile that breaks the new high. And then little bit of a squeezy and a rising wedge which pops out the top for a final push in the new high, only not as far and not as strong. And then dish, slap in the face. Whoopsie, you thought it was all one-way traffic and that easy, didn't you? Here's a cold bucket of water on your snoozy, sleepy self that's all fuzzy and cozy there with your virgin bride. Wakey, and you get the first slap in the face. Down she comes. What happened? That blue line was the relevant line. We got lots of structure setting up around this. We got another squeezy, TG pink, all just trying to hold above the blue level. That was the legacy high. Now, does it have to do exactly what gold did? I'm absolutely not going to tell you that. But I'm expecting that there will be some degree, possibly of acceleration first, that will lead to mini blow-off, that can then run both our key level at HVF method, which is a very key level, find out how or why in the links below, and the previous alternate high, which most people know from any form of understanding of technical analysis. And then, boom, you sell off. Then you come back up. Look at these orange boxes here. There. Now it's resistance. Then you have a final exhaustive move above it. You can't hold it, and now you're weak and down. Now, this was an almost 8-year setup. So it's going to have a lengthy period of churn, progress, decay. We call it 5th stage of our 5 stages of a breakout. You want to know the other 4? Jump in the links below. But it's natural. Once you've made a big target, why is a target a target? Because you're not going to get much more gain for kicking around for a long time, and the opportunity cost is high, and actually you'll face pullback, churn, and sidewinding. Go somewhere else and flip your money over and come back a little later once it's shaken its head and got over its constipation, its bloated belly, and everything else, and is ready to party again. Okay? So that's what progress decay is, and that's what happened on gold. And that was an all-time high run. So be suspicious. It doesn't mean it will absolutely happen, but be superstitious. Now is not a good time as we approach these 19K levels to go mega leverage long, inverted pyramid your size, because you're getting more confident the when it keeps going up higher and only having small pullbacks. Do you understand how you're going to get yourself into trouble? I hope you do. And what's going to happen to alts and all those asking me about the wonderful XRP, how it's proving it's such an awesome coin, and it's done 78% this week, 90% this week, God knows what, from whenever and however. What's going to happen if Bitcoin drops 15% and maybe a couple of $1,000 after running 20,000, drops 3,000 and revisits 17K? What do you think's going to happen to those leveraged longs that were ever more chasing volatility because they felt they were late to the move, that are now super long Ripple with leverage on Finex, Binance, BitMEX, etc., etc.? How much percentage do you think they might drop? You of the alt-run bull that is suffering from what they called mental recency syndrome. It's currently up fast, therefore it will always be so. The warning is that there's key levels coming for the God market. The key number over here, when you see Ripple with 88% over the last 7 days, let's highlight it. Your eyes go there. Actually, the key number is there. Because without that, there's not that. Do you get it? If Bitcoin ain't doing the 12, Ripple ain't doing the 88, my friend. Let me assure you. If Bitcoin's doing -5, -10, or -12, Ripple ain't doing positive 88. Let me assure you. In most days, not universally always 100% true, but in the higher 90s true. So remember, we're a probability game, not an absolute game. We can only tell you probabilities. We can't tell you absolutisms. So, you of the alt bulls, what do you think as we run the next 1,000? You might get another week. You might get another week of upside on your alts, with the alts overperforming. And I will show you another measure of Bitcoin dominance. I'm not saying the alts aren't coming. It's impressive what's doing. And we are reweighting slightly our Ethereum back into our investment hold, because it is the queen of the alts and generally is much more behind it, and it's solid, and it'll still drop more than Bitcoin, but it won't lose 30% in the same way that coin number 11, 12, or 13 might. So the alts have shown us strength. They've signaled clearly to us on Ethereum against Bitcoin that they're no longer in the head and shoulders going down. And we have an early method for that. And we've given you a little bit of a clue, but you can find out more about it. So it's triggered. I'm no longer going down towards against BTC. But it's also just spiked, had a bit of a bull flag. Let's look at that FBTC. It's the queen of the alts. It stands alone, separate from all the others. There's a real project behind there. No one can really call Ethereum a bunch of fluff with nothing going on. And I think they're worthy of a bit of standalone respect outside of Bitcoin in the crypto realm. So let's talk about ETH. So it looks all love and light and a big move up. You'll remember we thought it might have a one leg down. We were absolutely wrong on that. Let's go to FBTC. So without getting too much detail there, that spike took out and said, okay, we're done on the downside. That doesn't mean I'm an immediate buy. You were done on the downside when you broke that level line there, essentially. But I want to highlight that there was, from here, a nice little bull flag. I was doing this with premium, either a bull flag or a little bit of a pennant. And you got a target just made there, geometrically equally. So roughly your 50% fib, if you run it from here to there, runs halfway through there at the top. So you've just had your first real point of strength that said you're no longer winning this fight, Bitcoin, for a while, and you've broken out and you've had a surge. What's probably going to happen next? Well, you can assume it's going to just keep on surging and surging, which it may do for a short bit, but at some point we are going to have a period of possible warning for the over leveraged hands, a little bit of a shakeout. Now, when might that point be? When might that point be? He speculates. That's the answer you all want. You're speculating. Francis, tell me when that point will be. Well, first of all, I can't do it, but I've got an idea to suggest to you. And that requires I show you something else. So let's have a sip of cocoa and go and show you what we need to show you. What's been happening in crypto in terms of seasonalities? Who knows what seasonality is? Answers in the comment section. What is he talking about if he starts saying seasonalities? And I was discussing this with our premium guys. Come on. Who thinks they know? Answers in the boxes below. What is the seasonality on the crypto? I'll give you some time to catch up. I think I'm 5 or 6 seconds ahead of you. No, not alt season versus Bitcoin season. That's a separate asset category having a better period than another asset category. I'm talking about a seasonality. Yeah, cycles. And what could it be? What could it be? What kind of time? I'm talking about time cycles. What could it be? Well, I'll show you what I've observed. And you can make of this what you will. So this is a calendar. Yeah, it was a calendar. Here we go. So, November 2020. When are the weekends? 28 to 29 November. We haven't made those yet. 21 to 22. So I'm going to take Bitcoin and I'm going to find the days that were 21 to 22 and I'm going to highlight them for you. So 22 ends as you start 23. So there's one weekend. The next one, 14 to 13. When 13 starts to when 15 begins is going to be another weekend. So 13 to 15. So there's 13. And that's 15. So let's go there. Let's do it one more time to make sure I get it absolutely right. 12 becomes 13. Boom, there. That was Friday the 13th. You might remember it. Was it last week? $15. Okay, so that's the last weekend and the weekend before. Anybody noticing anything just yet? You tell me. We'll stay. They came back. That's good news. Thought I'd lost them. Let's go back to Google Calendar. I'm going to do the third weekend. Third one. 6 to 7. No, sorry, 7 to 8. 7 to 8 was the third weekend. Seven to 8. Put your answers for that final 3-week mega prize for third place in Lagos. 7 to 8. 6th of November. 7th of November. Until the 9th. That's all 7 to 8. So, here. What do you see? Michael Fucker, weekend dumps, CME futures, pullbacks, says Esha, BC. Wait for retrace, says somebody else. Horim, access denied. The gains are getting bigger, not smaller. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for about the weekends, though. I remember in 2017, XRP and IOTA gave me good returns. Turned like 3K into 13K. Yes, they can and will do maybe in the future again. Lagos, the new Davos, says Phil Kogan. Okay, excellent. And for us, the main move began, it's worth also saying, and we put the pink lines on here. The main move and final fractal for Bitcoin was here. Little wind up. This is the second most important HVF in the whole super macro, the major one that you need to be on that double weekly, fortnightly chart to see. This is the second most important one. And you'll learn how we use that in the premium area. It's very, very big gift that you got that fractal, and it's massive overperformance already. And the big one still has to make its target, and then it has the opportunity to overperform. So we're bulls. There's no hiding. We got big ass horns. Yes. Don't take that in too many ways, but certainly in terms of the Bitcoin we are. So weekends aren't actually that amazing. If I were to just take this line and where you start the weekend and where you finish it, that's what's happening on weekends in the last 3. But overall, if you'd got long from here and you were still long now, that's the gradient you would have. Gradient is the rate of gain that you would get. How much time, how much profit. Profit, vertical axis, time, lower axis. Gradient is your profit. Your opportunity cost is how much time do I have to sit in? Yes, I'm going to double my money, but I have to wait 100 years. That's crap. Okay, so the gradient is important. During the weekends, you're actually selling off. Now, I am wondering if it's institutional money coming in. These guys are Monday to Friday guys. I'm just putting out a theory there. Do I know? Of course I don't. I'm speculating. But if it's jobbers, people that are buying Bitcoin for PayPal, etc., when do you think they're engaging in the markets? They'll be told weekends are thin. Besides, I only want to work during the week. Monday to Friday. So what do? They're accumulating during the weekend. So actually your seasonality is sell, or at least cover your oversize on Friday, buy it back on the weekend. Yes, you could actually have a small interim change. You're probably getting the peaks just before in the weekend. If you look just before, and I draw once again with my favorite color over here, Fridays. Whoops, let's go pink pen. Just there, and just there are relative sells, and you get a chance to get back in there and there. Now, Bitcoin is $615 from its line of significance that we consider significant. Not the all-time high, the line that we consider significant, and it's about 1,300 from all-time highs, 1,400. And we have a week ahead of us, and the Monday through Friday is generally pretty good. And Monday so far, judging by the coin market cap, is turning out pretty good. Any negatives in there apart from the stable coins? Bitcoin's up 0.5%, Ethereum up 11.5%. Today alone, 23.8 for Ripple. Forget Tether, 3.4 chain, 5s, 6s. This is in a single day. This is 24 hours. So it looks like we're going to have a good week. Now, how much have we been accumulating? Down here, you are at around 10,800, guys, when you broke. And today, let's just say we're 18,800. We were 18,800 at one point. At our high and from our break, we're having a little bit of a rest back now. You've made $8,000 largely in 8 weeks. So on average, you're knocking out $1,000 a week. Now it might have been a little bit less in the beginning, and it's a little bit more now. There's that log scale thing, remember? So as a percentage move, the percentage move might be quite consistent, but even still, we have accelerated a small bit. We've had certainly a good spell here of ups, good spell there of ups and there, but at the same way you had a decent spell up there as well. So around $1,000 a week at the moment, it's fair to say, and $1,000 over the next 4 days. Where's that going to take Bitcoin? To 19,300, 400, 500, depending wherever this day closes ish, which could be very close to the final high. What happened when you get close to that line? That was the all-time high. I showed you on gold. Actually, you do more in that week and you accelerate to and then through. Because everybody now starts to say it's a foregone conclusion. It's running the all-time high. They think they're early. So they jump in before the all-time high, around $400 or $500 before, and say, I rode it to the all-time high. And they go to the pub and they tell their mates, I rode it to the all-time high. That's what they do. And then the Bitcoin news comes out and they feel clever. They tell everyone in the household, the last week I was in and now you see the news is out, etc., etc. What then happens? That push through, that acceleration through, and then the possible pullback. So the alts might still continue to serve you very, very well, but they might get a little bit of a slap in the face after the all-time high run. They might. It doesn't mean they have to. Remember, I've warned, this is not our full target for the macro. It is a key level that we have where we expect a rest, but it's not the full target. You will have more of a pullback at the full target, which we've indicated to you is on the border of 25 and 26K. But nonetheless, you've had a very good run with very little pullback. And everybody says, yes, but this is Bitcoin. We just go up straight until we don't. And then you realize markets are driven by people, whether they're chasing the dot-com boom, whether they're chasing the poppy seed boom, whether they're chasing the bull boom of Amsterdam, whether they're chasing any boom that exists, pot stocks, you name it. There's still price behavior, and nothing goes up forever in a straight line. It just doesn't happen like that. Otherwise, too many buyers are committed on the long side and there's no new money to come in. This is how we've gone so far on Binance versus Tether. This is our week. Of course, we've only got one single candle for this day. Since that fractal break, this is how many week up days you've had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're working on number 8. Forget that it's red for now. It means nothing. If it goes up through there and runs the all-time high on a green candle, that would be 8 candles green weekly in a row. And you say to me, there can be no pullback. Who beeth that man that saith so? Let he stand and speak now in the comments. And you saith to me, when that their Bitcoin does lose 15% and a handful of thousands, after making admittedly 20,500, so it might only mean back to the 17Ks, it might be more, could be half this entire retraced move. I don't think so. The dips are going to be shallow, guys, for me, because there's too much money that needs to come in. This is a first cup gold nugget break, remember, that had a shakeout with the COVID and actually went straight into there. So I don't believe, RK, that alts will run to previous all-time highs just because BTC will go to all-time highs. The all-time highs for alts are a long, long way away generally, if they've been around for a while. If they were around from 2017, they're a long way from those all-time highs. So that's when you will get your fire sale opportunity. The last chance Black Friday crypto buying opportunity could come if we have a blow-off finishing week this week that takes you at least $1,000, ideally $1,500 on the dollar. You could take the all-time high and you could get your first real pause after having a little bit of a parabolic move. So first it's going to feel awesome, like it will never come back. It'll just look like a rocket on jet fuel. You'll all want to chase. Your amygdala brain will be dumping endorphin and dopamine into you, and you'll just go buy, sell, mortgage the house, do anything. This is your chance. You're going to be a multimillionaire. Don't doubt. Just go. Boom, 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 boom. And you'll leverage to the hilt at that point and you'll pump through with the rest. It'll feel like the right decision for a while, and then you'll get a massive shooting star possible and your first pullback. I don't think it's going to be the biggest pullback ever, actually. And we're going to, I think, go to 26,000 in pretty short succession. But I don't think it's going to be all weekly green candles in getting there. I think there's a chance we're going to get a few reds. At least one, maybe. Who knows? So kill me for suggesting so. And I am the mega bull because I'm expecting overperformance. 36, 54K. We've got the FIB conferences. We've given you those numbers for free. You can find out why, if you come on board, why we talk about them and what was significant. So, as that happens, you could get your best alt buying opportunity. FBTC has said it's no longer going down relative to Bitcoin, which is a good thing, and it's showing that it's possibly turning around. But if you buy now, you're buying the top of the spike of the FBTC push. That's FBTC on a very big time frame. Let's get back into something slightly smaller. You can see it's a very big push that's just done 2 natural legs of geometry here. So overall, I'm never a fan of chasing the spike. And I think there is an opportunity that you might be able to get it cheaper. So wait, possibly it goes worse for you on Ethereum and ADA and Ripple, and we'll come to Ripple in a minute. And it goes a little bit higher first before it pulls back. But the point is, you've got to care about your entries, especially if you're using even light leverage, especially if you use light leverage. Because the problem you have is when Bitcoin pulls back, so will all those alts you've added, and your P&L and the free capital you thought you had as margin suddenly flips from being large to exceedingly small, and then you start to get those red flashing alerts and boom, 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 auto close, and it's a bull market and you're net long and you've just lost most of your money. Do you want that feeling? I'm here to warn you about that. I'm here to warn you about that. Avoid that. Avoid that. Do not get greedy. Avoid that. The fastest climber will also, by definition, when it gets an uncomfortable place, have the most fluffy gains to give up. Let's look at Ripple. That's got everybody so excited. Who knows? Maybe they will become IMF coin. We don't know. But let me also remind everybody who loves Ripple so much, all of a sudden this, where, here we go. Here's the X's. I want to take a nice macro view for you. Let's do weekly. Now I know everybody wants to call a bottom. And those that are saying, you're still short Ripple. No, I'm not shorting any cryptos in a bull market. I'm not stupid. And we've been waiting and expecting alts to show up at some point. We said the first part of the move is dominance, Bitcoin. But look here. Yes, very perky. How was that for perky? You came from there. That was a bigger percentage gain. What then happened? Well, it was a bear market. And that's why it happened. I ain't saying the same's happening, but spikes with Ripple often occur only to give back lower. Now, I think this one is a little different because I think Bitcoin is going to keep going and that's going to support the entire alt complex. And that means some of them will go up even faster because they're much smaller market caps and to go bigger percentages. But that doesn't mean that Ripple's your best choice, because Ripple has rarely showed relative strength in the bear market. Now it's so low, yet still one of the biggest caps because it had such a huge pre-mine that wasn't given to the people, that was held by the originators, and they've almost had a perpetual cycle of releasing tokens in. So this little bit of bullishness, I would just caution about saying this is the best altcoin in the bag. It's hitting out the best percentages because it's come from the absolute lowest depths of hell. That's why. It's come from the lowest depths of hell. It's been so low against Bitcoin. To be frank, the last time it was this low, when it listed, it had a short period where it spilled there. That was the last time it was less than 20, it's not even 2,000, it's lower than 2,000 Satoshis at this low. And now it's at 2.9. Right now, you're back at these levels if you just held value in March of this year. That's where you're back to. So you want to watch your percentage and get all excited about the 88%, the 89% over 7 days. You've got to maintain perspective. This token never showed any relative strength to Bitcoin that it held onto for any serious time period, and has been in a low volatility glide downwards non-stop that you could have bought dips countless times. There, 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 and there. You would have bought probably 10 times to be maybe right once, when other coins will also be right and maybe more right. I'm just saying, it's the lowest of them all. It's the lowest of them all. The last alt run, what did it do? It gave up huge amounts of ground to Ethereum. Look at that coin market cap. At one point, Ripple was 2 and Ethereum swapped, and they were not too far apart. Ethereum is 67 billion to 24 billion after this has doubled. This has done 90%. So it wasn't much over 12 to Ethereum's 67 billion. The harder yards are now to come to get even an honest half of Ethereum, which would require another, it would need to get to 34,000 essentially. It would require another 10 billion. Well, I'm guessing that in that time, Ethereum will have done at least as much again as well. So that's just what I'm putting out there. Yes, but what does that mean? How do you trade it? Well, if you trade it at all, it's given some great opportunities on the smaller time frame. So let's just show you that. perfectly good upside structure right there. So you can short time frame trade it. I'm just not investment buying it on the basis of a couple of glorious weeks in a lifetime of underperformance. Understand the priority. Everybody suffers from recency syndrome. Like the last 2 weeks is everything, and everything that went before is nothing. Years of nothing suddenly dissolve because of a flash in a pan. Trade that. Be my guest. You made target. Lovely. Bank it. Do it with BTC. Turn it into BTC and grab some Ethereum to supplement your portfolio. Have BTC ETH. Increase your ETH holding to at least 35%. You've got 50% BTC. Play with the other 15%. Leave some in ADA. Leave some in Ripple. Leave some in Chainlink. Leave some in any of your favorites of your top 10. Trade this, and that you can trade with leverage. Place a stop, grab an entry, and take a target. That's a hit and run strategy on something that's going up. And I think for this week, that could continue for a while. Not this one right this second now. It needs a chance to rest, but it might reset up again. Maybe ADA or one of the others will be doing something similar, and you can shoot and scoot and take it, turn it into Ethereum and Bitcoin in your investment pot. And there you can use leverage if you know what you're doing. You must have a stop loss. You must know how much you're losing on your stop loss. It must be a small percentage of what you hold. You must bear in mind that stop losses might not trigger if an exchange is dodgy or you have a major gap event. So you mustn't oversize regardless how confident you are. You must have a takeoff point, even though you think Ripple will go higher. Because that pullback comes for Bitcoin after it runs the all-time high, you will get your fire sale in the alts, possibly. And I don't think it will be extreme, because I don't think Bitcoin will be too extreme, but it will be a higher beta of whatever Bitcoin does. So if Bitcoin pulls back 5% after all-time highs are run, you might get 12.5% off your alts. And they may have gone a little higher first. So it's not 12.5 from here, but it could be 12.5 during this week of trading net long that it pulls back. That is your last chance Black Friday crypto buying opportunities. Let's have a look at some questions. What do the guys say? Okay, I'd have to sell my car, says Mike. He's putting his car into the crypto market. Antonio Vendetti, if you buy XRP, be prepared to be crying in your cornflakes one morning. The spikes often fizzle real hard. There is something to be said for that comment. 50 is support for Ripple, and now it's heading to $1, says Nomadic Digital. I hope for your case it does. I hope for your case it does. Just because it's going up at this speed now doesn't mean it's contracted to continue to do that indefinitely. Let's have a look at Ripple a little more. It seems there's a lot of Ripple fans here. You see, you throw out a big percentage on coin market cap. Everybody is a coin market cap trader. They start their day with, what's gone up most? I wish I was in that coin. Let's talk about that coin. I think that's the algo. That's the algo for you guys. Wake up. Coffee, take a dump, look at the coin market cap. Who's up the highest? Damn, I should be in Ripple. You see that goddamn 90%? Okay, let's get the Ripple chart up. How do I get into Ripple? Look for small time frame continuations, trade the margin. If it's in a powerful trend, you can shoot and scoot and take out of it. That's it. That's your game. It can't always be trusted. It can't always be trusted. Why? Because we've had spikes like this before that have absolutely fizzled. Is this before? No. I think this is a bull market. So actually, it'll probably have periods of high performance and non-performance. We'll be talking about the merits of Ripple for a long time. It'll be underperforming for a few weeks, in maybe a few weeks' time, and we're still going up, and Bitcoin's run 26,000 now, and it's in overperformance. And you know, we're having more regular pullbacks, but they're slightly bigger, but we're also having massive surges. But then there'll be Link will be the fastest. Tezos might come rushing back into the top 10. Who knows? And then you'll all be chasing the shiny new thing that's just put in the biggest number. And that's how you cock it up. Chase the one that's just put in the big number. It's almost better. They used to have a theory of dogs of the Dow. where you actually buy the ones that have done the worst recently, not the ones that have done the best. So I want to just show you on that seasonality here. So that was a tweet. Alessio put it out. Alessio Urban, credit to him. So we're talking about this chart here. S&P, whoopa. S&P after hours versus regular trading. Follow the Kuroda, boys, he's saying, because Kuroda is Japan. So for the American market, it's the Japanese, the opposite time frame kind of, and sell the open. So you sell, what you do is you buy the close when everybody who's a day trader with huge leverage has been pumping the stock all day during the day, or trying to, and getting involved. You buy the close when they all get square to go home, and you sell the next open. So you, the overnight guy, you take the overnight risk. Everybody's poop scared. You take the overnight risk off their hands that they're too afraid to take, and you make all the money. That's your chart. And that's actually the S&P chart without. The worst thing you can do is buy the open, because you're gapping open. Amazon gaps open. Apple gaps open. Tesla gaps open. Gapped open today, gapped open when the S&P 500 announcement happened, gap, and you're buying that open and you're just getting, woo, you could have had it down there if you were buying actually the close of the previous day and selling the open. That means you keep harvesting all those upside gaps. The stocks generally gap open. So that's what you're having. That's a hell of a difference. That's negative, by the way. And that's more than positive. It's what the S&P makes plus none of the down side of the carry during the day. So actually, generally, the open is one of the strongest moments in the market. It's the worst thing you can do. So the American traders are trading a negative curve of equity by coming in and day trading long equities. And that's what I was kind of saying. We might have a small semblance of, on a smaller scale, of weekend versus weekdays. So watch out for that. Anyone who can generate a graph for me on that, I'd appreciate it. Go and let us know. So that is the syndrome of a seasonality. That's a daytime seasonality. It's not a winter versus summer agricultural type seasonality. It's a seasonality of timing when you enter. And if you want to buy those alts, you wait for Bargain Basement Friday and you buy on the weekend those alts if we have our blow off all-time high during the course of this week. I'm telling you this on Monday, guys. You now have a plan for the week. Until what I say hasn't happened, don't worry. Keep trading short time frame your alts long. Build your Bitcoin and ETH balance, roughly 50-35, and you can play with whatever you like on the other 15. Short time frame trade, the pumpers at the moment, like Ripple. I've just shown you one example. If you want to be in Ripple, that's how you trade it. And you take and you run, and you buy ETH and you buy Bitcoin on it. Then you have that blow off. You'll go up on your ETH. You'll go up also on your Bitcoin, maybe not quite as much. And then when it smacks down, you'll be glad to have the Bitcoin because it'll go down less, and you go bargain hunting on the likes of the alts if you believe that the alts are doing it. I want to show you one last chart and then I'm going to let you go and we'll run through some comments. What about ADA? What about ADA? Said the guy. Said the guy who likes ADA, who has ADA. We are looking to try have a chat. I think it's Charles Hodkinson. So we are applying. So if you know him, you can put in a word for us. I know it's here somewhere. Damn bastards. Let's add it. It'll only show up. So we did this inside our premium community. We highlighted how you got a fractal of an upside HVF. This is not the chart. This is Binance. It's an awful one. Let's see if I can get a better one of ADA, because this is very skippy. Who's that? That's Australian dollar. We don't want Australian dollar. Keep FX out of this. Excuse me. Where is my crypto coins? I had ADA in there. There it is. Damn, why can't I see it? So yeah, so that was your fractal trade there for ADA with a nice bit of overperformance. But you see, it's just getting some long wicks there now. It's just getting some long wicks. You've missed the chase. Don't buy the top. You've missed the chase. The alts have shown what they were doing. You should have been in it here. First set up in a new trend. Overperformance. Easy squeezy. Japanesey. Yeah, so I wouldn't chase into that. Again, a nice up move. A kind of rest at this level and another up move. There's a natural geometry to that. You wouldn't want to be buying very close to a relative high, potentially. You wouldn't want to be near a relative high. XRP, Rothschild coin, that's why, says Lorenzo. It could be the IMF coin. They could use XRP or partnership with and do a kind of, look, it's very fast. It's very fast. I'll give it that. I have used it actually to test the transfer. It's very, very fast. So let's do Bitcoin for all the people that say it has to be alt season. And I'm just saying you still want your base of Bitcoin and you want to see if they're all coming. Let's just have a look at another interesting chart you can draw for yourself. So these are ideas when you're analyzing. We want Bitcoin from Stamp with nice history. And then you want to divide it by total 2, which is going to be a largely Ethereum. But it'll also have an increased amount of Ripple recently. And the rest of them in weighting, according to size. So you can see short time frame that Bitcoin's been working up and now it's had a setback. Initially, Bitcoin was the only coin. So the minute alts came. Now I'm just showing you that what you've had is you've had a break of a channel and then a sharp setback to the channel. So that was the base of the W bottom lows. You can see it. Bitcoin was a bull, made its target, falling wedge, went up, falling wedge, went up. Then been in a pullback period, alt run. We called this alt run for you, by the way. We don't have a problem with alts. We were talking about it all the way through, in the beginning of this year even, especially ADA, one of the first to start running after having a lower dip. And then you had the next part of the alt run here, and now you had a reversal and Bitcoin, and you've actually broken out of, but it's a fake break and it's been slapped back down. That doesn't mean it's over. It's not a guarantee that that's over. It's trading down, but it doesn't mean that it's over. That is Bitcoin's divided by the total 2. So technically, doesn't mean it's over. It doesn't mean, look, it could reverse back into the halfway mark. It could come entirely back into the channel. But often you can have an attempt that fails and then you go on the second attempt. So you could get a bit of Bitcoin dominance and that could be on a bit of calming. Or it could be on a Bitcoin mega surge that just kills the alts. People will generally get too excited and call the alt season the first week or two that you have a bit of outperformance on the alts. This is going to be a long, lengthy crypto expansion. And I'm glad for all you guys. Half of you are going to end up in my community. I'm going to have to make more space for you. You're going to be rich, loosh millionaires sitting at home, shuffling your money around. If you position right and you don't blow yourself up. That's why I'm trying to help you now. Don't blow yourself up. Even having 1 or 2 Bitcoin will put you in a very good place in years to come. Just don't blow it all trying to keep up with your mate who's got 10, or your other mate who's got 25, or you've got a couple of sats and he's got half one. Whatever the level is, make sure you don't lose what you got. Defense first, then accumulate smart. The move's going to make you the money. The sizing and the leverage won't. It will hurt you, okay, if you do it incorrectly. So the point of this chart is just to say it's not absolute what's going on here. It's not a clear cut, that's it now for Bitcoin, it's buggered in the overall dominant side. It's only going to go down from here. Typically channels like this, they were very long. It was a lengthy channel. So it's no longer qualifying as a bull flag because the pole is almost shorter than the channel. But you can have a down move and then you can have another up move. Just because it stopped going assertively up doesn't mean it now means it's down. It's not a binary situation. It's not like a light switch, on or off. There's quite a lot of gray matter in between where there are a couple of battles won and lost in either way. So because you're not on that side of the boat doesn't mean you have to run to diametrically the other side of the boat. You know, there's a cabin and a dining hall in the middle of the boat. Go have a eat, have a snack there. You don't have to be diametrically binary in everything you do. That's for the LGBTQ non-binary crowd. We can have some headspace that is in between. And that's where you need to be. Litecoin, says the man. That was Wendell, Mr. Wendell. I bet he has that a lot. I'm sorry if it upsets you. It was a great song. Mr. Wendell. I should play that. I haven't heard it in ages. Kind of out of the blue, one-hit wonder. Which is completely unlike yourself, who is going to be awesome and amazing for your entire life. Litecoin, he says. So it's kind of a bit like they're all going to go up if Bitcoin's going up, and they'll probably for a while go up a little bit quicker. Let's see what happens. The whole point of this YouTube is last chance Black Friday, possible buying opportunity. It's trying to think ahead. Everybody is consumed about where we are now and what's just been. And you are immediately projecting it forward and assuming it's an exact continuation. That's how the human brain thinks. Recency syndrome. That's why I refer to these psychological tendencies. What's actually probably going to happen is it's going to be all-time highs and then an absolute gutting of all those that chase in at the all-time highs. That think, damn. And the same folk that chased in at 20K will chase in at 20K again because they don't learn anything. And you will see them do it. And you want to avoid being that guy. So now is not the time to increase your sizing. Stay investment as you are. If you have very small, moderate to very light leverage, ideally, leave it as it is if you have plenty of it, because it could just get a tad more choppy and you don't have to be in that. It gets emotional, it gets intense. The move will make you money. Even though you think, I could be making more, the move will make you money. The move will make you the money. And it will be far less drama, and at the long run, you actually come out with more rather than thrashing yourself out. So what's Litecoin doing? Well, it's going up, but it's not a great chart. They're all great because they're going up, and it's kind of like a bottoming. Most of the alts look like the total 2 chart to varying degrees depending how long they're going up. This is not specifically beautiful, but it would have given you along the way a couple of setups. So you might have traded in on that. There, for example. You might have traded, for those of you that care to do that, we don't, but you could have traded a falling wedge. There was another. You know, those could have been entries. That's for tactical traders. I don't recommend that personally. We don't do that. We're highly selective. But those could have been entries and you could have snatched. You've got to have a target for that. How do you do it? Learn a method. Click the link below. Book a call, costs you nothing. Find out the pricing, get an offer. It's the same for everybody. Report a fraud. Remember that. Always report a fraud. Save the world. Make a shit business for shit people to be in. 2017 was without institutions, 20K. With institutions, it will go to 6. I think you're right, human healer. We are going a lot higher. But there's still a journey to be had in getting a lot higher. You don't teleport from 20K, which we're virtually at, to 100K. Actually, what happens is there's some surges, there's some pullbacks, there's some surges, and there's pullbacks. The most important thing is to maintain people in the journey for the ride. Stay in the journey for the ride. You know, the boomers have had enough chances to make retirement stuff off money. I don't know how many stock market booms and then subsequent busts and housing booms and subsequent busts there were to make them their money. They are not in this generally. There are a few that are awake and are in it. I'm lucky as a Gen X. I was probably just about young enough. But then there'll be younger generations that are me here in this audience. This is your time to make a little bit of generational money. They're going to come for you and extract at a taxing level. What are your plans about that? Have you checked it out? We are supporting our community with services and real tested agents to see that you hold on to what you earn in our community. That's a really important thing, by the way. It's not just what you make, it's what you get to keep. It's what you get to keep that you don't give back in pullbacks and getting more aggressive as you make more and going from I'm a millionaire to a deci-millionaire to a centi-millionaire and then back to naught again because you rode the bull market and kept inverted pyramiding sizing, like the guy who ran up to 300 Bitcoin and back down to naught again. And he was all out by 17K once the Bitcoin had pulled back to 17K. That just says inverted pyramid sizing and doing exactly the emotional opposite. The minute it gets too intense, you revert to emotions. So what have we got? OMG USD, huge upside. HVF on daily also triggered. Well, RZ hacks, unless you are in our community, most of what people that are on YouTube think are HVFs are hopelessly wrong. I've got one guy who's always tweeting and copying me in. And he was actually even once in a program, but he never, it was like a long time ago, and his quality of stuff just isn't good enough. But I mean, I can't coach people on Twitter, and the whole world is seeing it and thinking that's what it is. And I'm afraid it's not. There's a massive difference in quality. This is like many a crypto. I would say in OMG's slight favor is that it never visited. One thing I will say in its favor is that it never visited the lows throughout the bears. Oh, actually, hold on. I thought this was a weekly. I'm sure. I thought that was a bit too good. This is Binance. They're useless. It's not old enough. Let me get a missy. Which one were they loaded on? I remember trading it, and was it Bittrex? Which one were they on first that has the longest history? Answer in the chat, please. Let's try Finex. Where do we get sufficient history? Because OMG was around for longer than all of these. Guys are shouting out Monero, this coin, that coin. No one wants to tell me where OMG has history. Was it Bittrex? I think it was something like that. Bittrex, says somebody. I thought it was Bittrex possibly. Yeah, it might have been Tether. You see, all of these are they all of 2019. It was around for longer than that. It's not. Poloniex must have been it. If you want a coin looked up, I want the history. I want real history, not Binance with the last 3 months. There's no charting off 3 months data. You can't do it. You need to know which exchange you want it on, and the one that has the best history, please. Because otherwise we just fanny around here. That's better. Yeah, that's more like what I'd expect. So that's Poloniex from when it listed. You can see that crankiness was from when it listed. And that's Bittrex. So that caught the bull. Bittrex has some real history. So that's more like it. So the secondary pullback, the COVID was here. Didn't actually move much on that. Sold off a little bit here. I think that's its final low there on the COVID. And then kind of spike, came most of that spike down. This is the kind of thing Ripple could do to you. I'm not saying it will, because now we're in a more bullish phase than we were in July. I'm just warning you, this kind of price action is high risk for these alts. That kind of price action. Now, I think we're in a better place because Bitcoin's going to be making an all-time high. It's going to overperform. It's going to keep going a lot more generally. That means it's going to keep a lot of steam behind the alts. So this sort of thing will happen less, but it's still not pleasant price behavior. And everyone gets excited when it's run to $9.50, where previously it was $1.50, and says, OMG's up 9x. You all buy in at the top of the wick and you wear it down here, and you're already in your next alt run and you're still at 3.9, which is less than half where you bought it at 9x. I'm just saying, careful. That said, the alts will be coming. The alts will be coming, but I still think you need that meat of Bitcoin, and there might be a phase where it's all the institutional money that Bitcoin goes back to overperforming. In other words, the baton could alternate a little bit in terms of the money. You're not necessarily going to get a full-fledged solely alt run extending for months. You might get a period where Bitcoin surges and alts surge. So watch that point that because Ethereum has turned doesn't matter. What else are the comments? Smart Money dumps XRP to do the chain analysis. Wendell says, thanks for the great info. Pleasure, Wendell. BSV and BCH will pump with BTC, but not as much as others. That's what we've seen before, showing you online. That's what we've seen before. That said, they've been underperformers because they've gone into this fork nonsense. That's, I think, was the Bitcoin Cash guys again. It's too much now already for most people. People are just like, Jesus, you guys can't get on. And it'll go up a little bit, but it's not spectacular. That's Binance, not much history. And it's kind of up. But if you look at the percentages there, it's more out of sympathy with everything else. Cash is down to 7. I think that's been one of its lowest places that it's been in ages. BSV is out the top at 10. It was a steady 9, 10 at one point, I'm thinking 6 months ago. Now it's out. Cash is down. Cash used to be, just behind Tether, Ethereum and XRP. Now Link, Litecoin are ahead of them. So the non-Bitcoin Bitcoins are suffering this time because it seems like all the money that wants Bitcoin is going into Bitcoin. And the looky-likey Bitcoins that were the forks, SV and Cash, not getting the money on the same scale. Litecoin, which was kind of independently named, not in a fork and an aggression, but very similar, it seems to have been more accepted and a lower price point. So that seems to have worked. And it's like there's no new development going in there. So that's it. Francis, you don't think in a game theory sense we could just get an almighty breakout trade on the 20th break? Well, I think you will, Richard Watts. I think you will get a bit of a push of power. If we run the all-time high, I don't think it's going to dribble past it. It's going to have a... So we will have a pump. And everybody will get really excited by it. And they'll want to start increasing their size into that. And I'm just saying don't do it. That's all I'm saying. So you probably will have a short-term, mini, fairly strong move. I don't want to say melt up. That's going to be beginning of end stories, but there may be a number of periods where we have some pretty strong surges, and then we cycle, we rest for a while. But the problem with really big surges, apart from they make you a lot of money in a short time and they screw your psychology up, is that subsequently they then have to have a hangover period. As big as the surge, the longer the hangover. I think we will continually not do a big surge because this move is going to be running for a lot longer. So the people that are coming up and buying, or like the institutions, are all buying along the lows. The minute it starts surging, they're backing off and they're just bringing limit orders under the market, letting it drift off, accumulating along the lows. And it's only the retail that'll be stupid enough to chase in a surge and create a long surge. And then that'll cause panic buying. And I'm not sure there's enough retail money now, relatively percentage-wise, to do that. I think that it's the big money is now in the hands of the bigger players. Retail all lost their BTC in the bull and bear. The pump and dump is the perfect way to shake retail out. Give them leverage, pump it and dump it, and they'll give you all their coins. It's as simple as that, I'm afraid to say. And I'm here to try stop that from being that case. Don't be that idiot. Crypto Juggle says Polkadot will most likely outperform ETH in 2021. We do cross-coin analysis. And when we call, once this all-time highs got out the way, we'll do some cross-coin analysis. And technically, we'll determine our favorites. YFI pump from 7K GBP. Now YFI is over 18. So YFI is a popular one as well. In a sexy DeFi area. Don't forget it hit 44 though. We saw a head and shoulder type structure and said that's going lower. It went all the way to 7. These current candles here showing a bit of headwind now for YFI for me on the big time frame. So it's always good to have a look at a chart in a very basic, granular, big time frame kind of way. This shows a little bit of pain, a little bit of selling. Inverted hammer after a rickshaw boy, which is an indecision doji with some volatility in it. So volatility and indecision don't go well together for bullishness generally. So a little bit of a pullback. It doesn't mean it goes back there. I think it rests a little bit and then it'll go again. I think most things will be going again. And I think it's an exciting area from what I understand of it, which is not a great deal. The staking and the time value of money is an important part of money that must come in. That was a trade for you, for example. You should have been there with a bit of overperformance if you know how to trade it. Net long with a stop and grabbing takeoff at a target, and also understanding how to manage overperformance and when you take off. All of which you can learn from us in the links below. Good, guys, that's 804 of you watching. I really appreciate that. Almost 50% of you have hit us up a like. That's awesome. I thank every single one of you. And I suspect there's many of you that have shared. I truly appreciate that as well. It's going to be an incredible crypto period. My goal is to escort you and to try prevent you from doing yourself harm and keep you in wherever you're set. And if you have a good mix of Bitcoin and Ethereum as investment and a small trickling of any of your favorite products where you can be as creative and as cranky and as speculative as you like, you're going to survive. And if you use very, very light leverage, 1:2, and not much more, and you are timing on limit order entries at unique moments and exploiting little shoot and scoot, snatch and grab opportunities like this, which incidentally you can learn to do a lot better if you learn the full essence of HVF method. But you can do that all by, do that yourself if you want to have a go. And I hope to see you through this and take you to greater wealth for us all in the crypto markets. But do not marry. Do not love and do not marry. Do not get emotionally attached. There will at some point be a time to sell. There will be a point at some point to change into other assets. There is an important case to be made for protecting whatever you will make from the grabbing hands that will come for anything and will know that retail guys have got away with a bit of beans and they hate it. They want to own everything. They want to punish you for making profits. The new Bolshevism is here. The central banking surveillance state cartel is all over the world. You need to find a way to defend yourself. We deal very specifically with that. That's not a crypto topic. It's an important one. We have an event for you 2020, burying 2020, so that you can celebrate 2021, the year of the vaccine. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And we will have great guests, more of them to be announced as we work along. Already got some great guests. And we'll be doing a marathon stream on a Sunday. You can come and join us for that. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you later and play safe, trade small, and sit tight. The move makes you the money, not the size. Bye. Until next time.